So how far back was this? When did you start this?
So I started this, this was October of 2015. And that whole, and that the process of sort of running down all the bad old stuff and replacing it with a house full of low carb took about 6 to 8 weeks, I suppose.
Okay.
It was by the approach to Christmas that I had pretty much the diet transition, if you like, was more or less complete. And even over that period when I was sort of just easing myself into it gradually, because I wasn't low carbing every day as I was still running these other things down. Even after that sort of first couple of months, I'd lost sort of as many kilos. I was losing about 1 kilo a week at that point. And now I hadn't really even sort of got stuck into it properly yet. It was just getting started, but it was coming off pretty easily right from the beginning. And that was just it was a shock at first. Because, this just has to be a coincidence, right? Because if this is working for me, then again, everybody else is wrong and that's impossible. So, but at the same time, let's just see how this goes. We'll just keep riding this wave for as long as it lasts. And it's still going today, 8 years on.
Amazing. And I bet you've fallen off, which isn't really falling off every now and again. And what do you do when you fall off?
Depends on your definition of falling off. So there have been a few wobbles, would be how I would describe it. But I've
wheels.
Yeah, I've generally been fairly strict with the diet, which I have the luxury of being able to do because I live alone where I'm at. So I don't have the issue which is a genuine one for a lot of people, struggling to get their health sorted out. If there's anyone else in the house for whom, the interest isn't necessarily there. And that can be a challenge. And I can be thankful that, I, for one, have not had to deal with that. This was something that I did on my own. But it was a gradual thing, physically and again, emotionally as well, just coming around to the idea that, well, I don't really sort of fully understand this just yet. But it's clearly working. The number on the scales is slowly working its way back. And it was always going to take a long time because I had so much weight to lose, right? I started, like I said, I was 137. I walked my way down to 132. So I was 132 when I began low carbing. So I still had a lot of weight to lose. And I found goal setting really, really challenging because in my case, like I was saying before, I'd been this way my whole life. So I had really no idea of what I was truly capable of becoming, if you like. So I had to set some really tentative goals. Let's see if I can get myself down to 120 kgs, for example, because that was my weight at 17 when I left high school. People talk about, I'm down to my high school weight. Well, my high school weight was 120 kilograms. But that was my first goal and I made it there. That was middle of January, 2016. So that was about 3 months.
Wow.
And the weight just kept going. And by, what are we thinking? It was about April 2016. I had lost, so that was 6 months. I'd lost 26 kgs in 6 months. So that's 1 kilo a week for 6 months.
Wow.
And I was able to maintain that for 8 months. So 35 kgs after 35 weeks. And it was that point it started to slow down. And I thought, okay, well, this had to happen eventually, right? But where am I going to end up? I wasn't really sure. And eventually by the end of 2016, so it really sort of started to tail off and level off by the end of that year. So over the course of 15 months, I went from 132 down to 82. I lost 50 kgs in 15 months on this low carb diet. And as for the wobbles since then, there have been a few. I've sort of tended to float around the high 80s, sort of bordering on 90 at times. But by and large, it's been due to other circumstances. Like, for example, my old scales broke one day in 2017. And so I got a new set that told me I was instantly 3 kgs heavier. So I have to adjust, that 3 kgs of it, is really just, due to a change of scales. But there are other things as well. I tweak the exercise and I tweak the diet as well, because there will be times when things, disappear from the shelves. I just not available anymore. And so you sort of have to work around that. But every now and then there's a new discovery as well. Something else comes along. Oh, yes, I'll give that a shot. And yes, I like the taste of that. Or no, I don't. So I don't necessarily eat everything that's low carb. I'm able to get away with just eating the things that I like that are low carb, and still at the same time have enough variety so that I don't get bored.